So, okay, 18 years. This is a big question. I don't want to make it too big, too much pressure.
Okay.
But looking back over the 18 years,
okay,
what has helped you? What has helped you to help draw our marriage closer together? Because I feel like I love you more than I've ever loved you. I feel we've grown in our security with each other.
Absolutely.
And I like being married. It's great.
Me too.
But
we're big fans of marriage.
But it's work.
It is work.
So,
yep.
So what are the ingredients for you? What's been very helpful and meaningful over the years?
Okay, so as soon as I saw Katie ask her question too about any good stories from our dating or whatever, I have two answers. Okay, I have one answer to how we started our dating life, and then sustaining our marriage, and thing that has been foundational. And you don't know that I'm going to share this story, and I didn't ask you if I could, so I'm just going to share it. So you and I started dating. Within a couple weeks, we were just talking, and off the jump, I felt like you and I were very honest and just open with each other. We are great sharers, communicators in that way about emotions. Yeah. And I had a past that I had to share with Mark that, when you start dating a pastor, you think you have to have all these, you have to have like this perfectly clean slate. I had all these things in my mind that because of my past, Mark would never even look at me, right? So him and I are getting to know each other, and we're seeing if this is going to work out. And I said, okay, this is all my hurts and pains. This is everything that I've been through in my life. And he did something that set the tone for what our dating life would be and what our marriage would be. And I could cry. I don't want to cry, but I might. He looked at me and he sat right in front of me, and I'll never forget it. We were in his condo, and he sat in front of me and he said, okay. And we talked things out, and
we prayed together. Yeah.
You prayed over me. You ministered to me over all the situations that I shared with you, and looked me in the eye, and you were afraid of nothing with me, and you just loved me. But it was something I'd never experienced because we weren't in love yet, right? We are just starting dating, and you're just getting to know me. And I'm like, look, this is me. And you the same. But you treated me like a brother, like a real brother in that moment. And you set the stage for me of what everything in our life would look like. And so even in all my yuckiness and brokenness and all that, sorry, I didn't want to get all, this is supposed to be funny in the beginning.
No, this is what it needs to be. It's great.
You set the stage for me to be able to be broken, to be a mess, to love me, and for me to give that to you. You really honestly showed me what that looked like. And so when you and I moved into marriage, and we had very tough things that we had to work through because we were both very broken people, you would make very strong statements to me that I had never heard before. So, right, I knew I wanted to marry you, and I knew it was forever. But when you would make statements to me of, there is no plan B, you and I, that's it. We're going to work through everything no matter what. So even in the tough times, the thing that I say has been the thing that's gotten us to 18 years is there is no plan B. And you have led that for us. You have set the stage of what working through things, growing through things, and just being solid through all those 18, even in the tough times. Because I know that what I'm saying can sound beautiful, and it is, don't get me wrong. But we've had tough things to work through. But that standard that you've held has been the thing that's been true, that's been the vein that runs through our marriage for 18 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you did not know I was going to say.
No, I did not. I did not.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing.
We have great dating stories. We actually have really we had a very powerful dating relationship as far as wonderful, beautiful things happening. But on the flip side of it, very tough things. We had, in the middle of us planning a wedding, you had to say to me, hey, I'm leaving. It's time for me to leave this church. And this is what it's not going to be easy. And you can bow out if you want to, basically, because you laid it out for me. We've had tough things to deal with, but through all of it, how you have led us and set the standard has sustained us. I say that hands down.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you, boo.
Well, it's been an honor to love you, and to watch you, how you've loved me. Because when I began to share the things that I struggled with, those were moments where it's like, okay, she's going to see the insecurity, see the side of me beyond just my role in the church. And here comes rejection time. And you loved me, and like really loved me, not just like, I just love you.
Right.
But
it's
you,
the pastor. He's so cute.
but you looked at me into my vulnerability, my brokenness, and stood with me. It didn't mean you washed over
Right.
my need to really work at the time. I didn't even know OCD wasn't even much of a word. We used it every now and then, but not as much as we realize now how much it impacted so many areas of our life. But recognizing, hey, I get it. I get it. You've always had a nurturing way about you in that. And so for me, the journey of always in everything, letting God lead me in his love. When I lean into what love looks like. And I have this cycle I work through that I teach on, but it's my life, is this sense of loving you, loving myself, loving you. You know, Paul talked about man who loves his wife loves himself. There's a union here. And I believe there's an aspect of, as I'm loving you, I'm loving me because you and I are one, but there's also I see a direct correlation to how I am loving towards myself is going to directly reflect how I interact with you. No question. That to me was a game changer, because I, going into marriage, realized how much self-hatred I had. I think the thing that has helped a lot is I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to learn.
Yep. You've always held that.
So if I didn't know what to say, I try to find my way in at practice, or just try. Or sometimes you don't need to say something; you just need to listen.
Right.
And saying I'm sorry, come back again. Go. I want to love, and I want to love effectively.
Right.
And
which you are way better at that than me. For a really long time, you were saying sorry.
Isn't it my?
That was so hard. It was.
But isn't that
really hard?
I feel like that's my job to lead the way, though.
You did, and you did.
Right? Like if I'm waiting for you to be better for me,
right?
You know, I just, that's just the way I look at it. I'm like, God, help me. And and most days I had no idea what I was doing. But I found, okay, humility is always the route that's going to show you what you need. So it's like, God, I don't know what I'm doing, but you're here. God, I don't know what I'm doing, but you're here. You're my father. I don't know what it's like to connect to you as a father in this, but help me as a dad, because I don't know what I'm doing, but I know you're here. And some people go, I don't know what I'm doing, and they just kind of stay.
Don't do anything.
Yeah, they stay in that state.
Right.
I find what's helpful, I don't know what I'm doing, but you're here, and I'm going to just keep my frequencies tuned, and I'm going to practice, and I'm going to be willing to say, you know, yeah, that didn't work.
Right.
You know, and then repeat the cycle again, you know? And so going into marriage, I realized how selfish I was and self-centered. And I don't mean that in like a...
Don't we all have to look at... We all have to deal with that, though.
Yeah, and I don't mean that in like a mean way. Many people write to me, I'm so hard-hearted and so selfish. And it's like, stop pushing your face in the mud. That's not it. It's illuminating. It was more of an illuminating thing, like, yeah, I'm pretty selfish. Wow, when you're single, you really think a lot about yourself, and you can cope easier. Not cope easier. Your coping mechanisms can hide easier because you can dodge, right? You can cancel plans. You can back away. You can. When you're married, you go, oh, I gotta deal with this, you know. So the invitation caused me to grow up. You know, And it wasn't just healing I needed, it was maturity I needed. Right? Like, well, all of us in our journey are looking to, we want to grow up, but I realize I don't not only need healing from stuff in my past and healing from stuff that I carry, but I need to learn maturity, learn what love actually looks like, you know?
Yep. And you did.
So, and I think for a lot of men out there, if they can work through shame and self-hatred issues, I think it would help marriages a lot, because many men have so much shame that they're failures, they're not doing enough.
Right.
And they hear stuff out there, you know, men are this, men are that, and they get beat up. But there's an awakening that needs to happen, that I can't just go, I just can't go under that shame. I have to see the truth that there's something for my family that I can really, you know, be a blessing to and bring change to. But you've always carried the thing that you always have carried, though. You mentioned that, you know, you've struggled at times saying sorry, things like that. But overall, there was this sense of, whenever I've brought here's what God's word says, here's what here's God's ways. You've never been like, yeah, I'm not gonna live under that. I'm not gonna live in that.
Right. No, I never.
You've always
I never turned from it.
Yeah,
ever.
And so that's been incredible, because we've had to, you know, we got married, and at that time we left the church that I was working at, the Assembly of God church that I've been at since I was like 9 years old. Grew up there. I'd been AG all my life. I went to one in Hartford, and then started going to one at East Hartford at 9. Was on staff after high school all the way up till late 20s. I had so much history and stuff, and there was a whole new journey opening up before us. And you had an all-in mentality that, like, we're gonna do this, and we're just gonna work on ourselves. So 18 years, and we keep working at it.
We do.
It never ends.
No, it doesn't.
The exercise, the muscles never ends.
No.
It's fantastic.
I know, it's awesome. And I love you, and happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, my love.
And thank you to everyone who is saying happy anniversary to us.